sister. Okay. All right, I logged on half a second early and sent out the request. I have a special guest today. The request is sent and it says waiting. Here.
Oh, I'm here. Yes.
Yeah.
What's
Can
up,
you hear me?
Wanye?
Prince! You know, you're frozen.
Yes. Maybe it's my internet.
Okay, so I see a lag. I saw your mouth moving and then you stopped.
Better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Though.
Nice to meet you face to face.
This is so exciting.
Likewise, likewise. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I missed your orientation. It was a miscommunication issue between John and I was in Sedona at that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your dog or something.
Sorry?
I thought you were walking your dog or something.
No, I was out of town on a motorcycle trip.
Oh, nice. I also saw you.
Yeah. How have you been?
I've been good. I'm trying to get all the comments to kind of disappear, and they're all still.
Oh, I hate technical difficulties. I always have issues with it on live. I think you maybe swiped. No. Oh yeah. I think if you swipe down, you'd be able to see better.
I tried swiping down, but it's not moving. So
I think you grab the line right above the fundraising for Heal Los Angeles, and if you put your thumb on that and then swipe down, that's what I just did.
Okay.
And it puts it it's over my face. I'm on the bottom right now.
Yeah, it's over your face.
You know, these things are so cool. I love messing with filters, and sometimes I send random stuff to people. This one makes me laugh so much. It's so funny. But sometimes, yeah, I didn't even know you could do those on live. That's pretty dangerous. That's going to be the next thing.
Wow. I'm gonna turn off comments really quick. I'm gonna turn it on so it's not like. Okay. I have so many questions to ask you.
Right on. Fire away.
I feel like I'm still not hearing you great, so let me try to put on my.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm going to put on my headphones and see if I can hear you better.
Oh, okay. Great. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Better. I can hear you. So
it's
like clear. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way to do it. Okay.
That was kind of crazy. Okay. So first of all, having me for Heal LA.
Thank you for joining. We're so lucky.
Yeah. No, are you kidding? I feel lucky. I feel very blessed. So can you tell us a little bit about it so everyone knows what we're doing?
Yeah, so a little bit of backstory for those of you that don't know. We're talking about the Heal Los Angeles Foundation, and Wanye actually has a fundraiser going on down below. So if you're feeling generous, you can always donate. But it was started as a student organization in LMU, Loyola Marymount University, with a friend of mine, John, and I. And, you know, as we graduated, we kind of moved into the nonprofit sector. And so now we're focused on the education of the youth, specifically inner city youth who aren't fortunate enough to have access to the same educational initiatives that John and I feel we were so fortunate to have. And why we're here now, as you obviously know, Wanye, is we've started this ambassador program that we expect Heal Los Angeles to be making announcements, introducing all these ambassadors to the public. But we're really
Mm-hmm.
excited because John and I decided that it would be great for us to be able to spread the message and spread the word of
You
what we're
just,
trying to do here. Oh, am I here?
uh-huh.
And so
Yeah,
we
you
wanted
cut
to reach
out
out
for
with
one
people who
second again.
oh, okay. Oh, I'm not sure.
Spinning.
Can you hear me? The internet is so bad, but we wanted to reach
Yeah,
out to
yeah.
people who,
It's like 2021. We're supposed to be flying in cars right now, but
you know,
I can barely make you out.
but I think, I'm not sure if I'm live. I don't know if you can see, like, I don't know how it works, but it seems like my feed is still going and then yours is paused. I don't know if it works the other way around, but we
Yours
wanted
is
to reach out.
going.
Oh, it's still going? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, we just wanted to reach out with people who kind of shared the same ideals with us as far as trying to educate the youth, as well as people who are supportive of the foundation, of the message, you know what I mean? And that we can kind of spread the word out there. And that's how we're
Mm-hmm.
here today.
That's amazing. So we're basically helping children, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Inner
We're
city youth.
helping. It is inner city youth, but we just focus on children. You know, my father was very adamant about educating and protecting the youth. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
that with my unique upbringing and a lot of awesome experiences that I had in my youth really helped give me a foundation and shape me into the person that I am today. And I see the people around me and I see
Mm-hmm.
that there are peers of mine who are not fortunate enough to have these same experiences. So that's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
driving factor behind the foundation is that John and I, we come from different backgrounds, but we're both inspired by my father to kind of give back to our communities. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the driving force behind it. And I feel personally is when you work with children, you're investing in the future. So they're going to grow up, they're going to replace us, and they're going to make the decisions that will ultimately change the world. And if we build that solid foundation, we don't have to worry so much about the future.
Mm-hmm. I watched, I agree with you. I watched your special on compassion. Do you remember your first random act of kindness with your father?
Um, Not like specifically as far as I can, because it's always kind of been around, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the earliest that I can remember was going to visit children's hospitals with bags of toys. My memory
Mm-hmm.
wants to say somewhere maybe in Munich or Berlin. I know it was in Germany, but I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
city. And it
Mm-hmm.
was very spontaneous. He's like, we're going to go to the toy store. We're going to buy a bunch of toys for kids. And then, I'm going to go show you these kids. And that was a really awesome experience because hospitals suck. You know what I mean? I don't know what hospital
Yeah.
anybody's been to that they enjoy, but it's not a fun place. And for him to be able to show up and light up the room like that and to be giving toys to each of the kids and spending time with them specifically, really lightened the mood in that, like, I don't know what you would call it, but the ward or the wing that we were in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it really sticks with you to see stuff like that.
That's amazing. Did you feel at that time when you saw those kids, I'm really lucky?
Yes, yes. I mean, that is in part why he exposed us to the other side of the coin or the other side of the world and how the other half lives, is
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't want us to grow up spoiled thinking that,
Yeah.
this is how it always is. On the other side of that, there are people who are suffering and they have a lot of needs that are not being met. So it both taught us compassion, but as well humility
Mm-hmm.
and gratefulness, you know what I mean? To appreciate what
Mm-hmm.
you have and not take it for granted because there are other people who have less and they would love to have what you have.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really important to remind yourself how lucky you are every day, right? You kind of
Mm-hmm.
get lost in that because when you're so stuck in the moment of what you're worried about, whatever it is in the moment, you kind of forget the bigger picture, right? Until
Mm-hmm.
like, I just watched Sound of Metal. Have you seen that movie?
I want to. It looks so good. It looks really
It's
good.
really good. It looks really good. But
Really.
when you see someone lose their basic human ability to hear, right? When they could
Mm-hmm.
hear, and you're like, "Oh, well, that's just something that's natural to me every day." You just take
Yeah.
that for granted all the time. But
Yeah.
there's so many other examples of that. Um, and I also know you love Batman because I love Batman, right? You like
Of course,
you
he's the
like all the
coolest.
superhero
Yeah,
stuff,
of
right?
course.
There was this one episode where Scarecrow in the animated series, Scarecrow put the fear gas on Bruce, and
Hmm.
he started going into this hallucinating dream of his worst fears. And it was him as Bruce Wayne walking in the streets, and a homeless person comes up to him. So he hands him $1. And then another hand sticks out and he hands him a
Hmm.
dollar. And before you know it, it's 100 people clawing at him. And then he just turns his head away and he's crying. And his worst fear is that he can't help everybody.
Yeah.
So my question is, what do you do when you feel like the pain is so overwhelming? Like you can't help everyone.
Yeah, it's really good questions, by the way. And I like that you watched the Batman animated series. But yeah,
I grew up
I
on
think
it
that's
with my
tough.
sister too.
Then we got that in common because that's the
Mhm.
stuff right there.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's a really tough question because I think, you still kind of work with it. My father, obviously being like the greatest entertainer of all time, your bars are set high even when it comes to charity. It'd be great for us to end. For example, when we were a student organization, our mission was to end child abuse, hunger, and homelessness in the Los Angeles area. But
Mhm.
I think I don't want to say that's a naive way to look at it, but it's a grand thing, and a lot of these issues that we're trying to affect or to make an impact on, it
Mhm.
has generational factors affecting it. So I think it's knowing what helps me is I don't think I'm going to change the world, but I think I can lay the seed for someone who will. Whether it's through
Mhm.
inspiration, whether it's through giving them access to a program, but I'm I'm fairly confident that through this work, I think I will be a part of the steps to make the world a better place.
So you're speaking of exponential change,
Yes,
right?
because
You
that's the
touch
only
one
way I think
person,
it'll
they touch
happen.
the others. Right. I also thought it was interesting you said that about Instagram feeds, that if you just like one thing, that it'll just keep showing you the same thing over and over. And
Hmm.
right now,
Hmm.
there's so many negative things going on that if you just stew into one bad thing, I'm not saying social events are not important. I mean, it's
Hmm.
very important. But I knew this was going to happen, Prince. Somebody's at my door. I'm
No
like, if
worries, somebody's
someone
gonna be at
comes,
my door.
I'm like, if someone comes to deliver something, I think it's a birthday present.
Oh, nice!
Um,
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks. Best birthday ever. I have other good questions though,
Do you have any other plans today?
so think on it. Um, I'm gonna have dinner with two really good friends, and
Nice, nice.
that's pretty much it. But they know that this is gonna
Very
be the
cool, very
highlight.
cool.
Hi, thank you. Can I just hold this? Thank you so much. Look at this.
Oh,
You know,
wow,
my
it's so
my friend
beautiful.
was like, I don't want to do this. It's so pretty. She was like, I don't want to send you anything today in case it interrupts your live. And then I got one anyway, but I don't think it's from the same friend. I'm gonna lock my door now.
It's so
My
nice.
other question was, I'm kind of jumping around in my head. Your birthday passed already, right? Oh, you're frozen again.
We lost you. Are you there?
Prince, you froze again.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise. All right, what's up?
Yo. Okay, I was gonna say your birthday passed already, right?
Yes, in February.
Nice.
I haven't
Aquarius.
celebrated my birthday in a while, so sometimes I forget when it happens or I forget how old I am. I got to do the math now.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
How?
I'm not
Why
even
don't
that
you
old. I
celebrate your
just know.
birthday? No, no,
I
you're
don't
not
know.
old at all.
Yeah,
Huh?
I haven't really. I don't like having the attention of the day be on me.
Interesting.
So it's always just been like, it's another day. I'll celebrate other people's birthdays. I just don't really celebrate mine.
That's very much like your father.
I think so. I mean, yeah, he wasn't a fan of celebrating his birthday either, if I can remember correctly.
But it's like off stage, he didn't like the spotlight being on him.
Yeah, he
You
got
know,
that
he
for
put
his
it on
career.
other
You know, his
people.
personal life's got to be something else.
It's got to be crazy. Did you watch the Oscars?
I did not. No, I was actually, I think I was with my family.
That's more
So
important.
it was nice. Yeah, yeah, it was very
That's
cool.
much more
But I saw a
important.
lot of great, I guess, nominees and winners. I saw
Yeah.
the results the next day, and it looked amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. So Chloe Zhao, the first Chinese director to win an Oscar for directing. Did you see her speech? I'm gonna guess not,
I don't think so. Did she
but
win two?
she won two. She won for best
Yeah.
directing and then best picture. So when she won best directing, she said there's a famous saying that she used to say with her dad that was 6 letters that said human beings are inherently good. If you break down the words one by one, it actually
Hmm.
means out of the womb, your nature is kind.
Okay. Wow.
Do you think that humans are inherently good?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. And I think people have obviously differing philosophies on it. And as I go and I get older and I grow and I change, I think my perception on the world changes. But something that I've kind of like a thought process that I've really developed, and I think it's helped me come through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, is I don't necessarily believe in the existence of good and evil. And the reason for that is because you can take an act such as on the extreme end, let's say murder, and you can justify it either in self-defense, in war. And so there's always a reasoning. For the most part, there has been some exceptions that I can't necessarily come to a solid conclusion on. But when I was in my junior year in college, we read a book
Mm-hmm.
called Ishmael, and it's
Uh-huh.
a philosophical inquiry. It's actually told in a really great way, but it's told about essentially it comes down to the conclusion that as human beings, as a species, we're destroying the planet, and we're the only species to do so. And I think it's a great book. It just kind of opens up your eyes, and it doesn't really say like
Mm-hmm.
who's a bad guy and who's a good guy. But I have two
Mm-hmm.
tattoos on my back, and they're Egyptian gods of. One's the god of life, one's the god of death. Some people interpret it as the god of love, as the god of decay. How I
What are their
interpret it is
names? What are
Horus and
their names?
Anubis.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why I got them is because personally I believe in the existence of balance. And there is within yin and yang, you know, within the good there is some evil, and within the evil there is some good.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's very out there. I think everybody's
I don't
telling
think it's out
themselves a
there.
story. You know what I mean?
I
So
don't think it's
everybody
out
has their
there.
own story that they tell them, and in everybody's story they are the good guy. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're on the other end of that story. And then to you, that makes it seem as if you're the bad guy or they're the
It's
bad
true.
guy. But in their story, they're the good guy.
Point of view, right?
Exactly.
Perspective. Like when people go to war and they say, I'm fighting for my God, and the other is fighting for theirs, and both their gods want love, so why are they fighting, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So do you believe in nature versus nurture? Not believe
Uh,
in like if you were to choose.
Pick one. I
Uh-huh.
strongly believe in nurture. And I think I actually
Same.
recently watched a speech of my father. He was at the Oxford University, and he was talking about the importance of unconditional love within children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really is a testament, and it speaks to the difference between nature versus nurture. It's actually interesting that you talk about this because I was thinking about this in ways that relate not necessarily to human beings, but let's just say, for example, an animal. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people give pit bulls a bad rap because they've been
They're my
portrayed in
favorite
the media.
dogs. No
They're so
way.
cute, you know what
That's
I
so
mean? And I
crazy
think
that you said
specifically,
that.
I've
They're my
got my
favorite
boy
dogs.
right there.
Oh,
They're
what
just
is his name?
amazing dogs, you know?
What's his
OG,
name?
like O
OG.
and G. Yeah.
OG. Like original gangsta?
Yep. Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. So
I
I was
love
just thinking
him.
about this because when we first got OG, I wouldn't say he was aggressive, but he was very
Yeah.
timid. He was very scared and didn't like people, didn't trust people. If anybody who wasn't necessarily the people that I live with come up to him, he would get very scared. But we've
Mm-hmm.
had him now for about 4 years, and it's been I would say we've just been pouring out unconditional love, you know, and
Yeah.
I've seen that change him. And we were fortunate enough to get him when he was around 10 months to a year. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously the younger you are, the greater impact that unconditional love has on you. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that you, more than genetically, you are a factor of the products of your environment. So I
I
do believe
agree.
more in nurture. But I think to go back to your question, I would say that to some degree, I do believe people are inherently good, because I think
Mm-hmm.
that if I was just to look at myself, or you to look at yourself, and you go and you look out of somebody, your neighbor, somebody who like in your family, I don't think you wish evil on anybody out of the womb,
Right.
unless it's for, let's say, revenge or some other weird human emotion. But for the most part, I think people are compassionate, and they would
Mm-hmm.
feel the struggle of other people because they know the struggle of themselves.
Right. So kind of empathy,
Yes, I
right?
think at the very least, like when you're a child, you see that. Maybe as you get
Yeah.
older and as the world changes you, you lose it, you gain more of it. But, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we're different people, we're different genders, different nationalities, but I can
Mm-hmm.
relate to a lot of your experiences and your existence, and vice versa.
Right.
And that way, that's just at the very basicness, I feel that human beings do have compassion, and
Mm-hmm.
either the events or the world kind of pulled it away from them.
Okay, two things. First, about pit bulls. Okay, they're my favorite dogs ever. I don't have you ever seen Caesar Milan
Yep.
when he does his dog thing? So I was recently watching his thing with Junior, his gray pit bull, and he was saying how, well, first of all, he says uh, he, dogs choose their humans. Humans don't choose their dogs. So dogs gravitate towards the energy
That's interesting.
that they want. So it would, it's almost like the universe gives you what you need.
Hmm.
If the dog wasn't right for you, you needed to learn a lesson from that dog. And the second thing he says is that, you know, dogs only follow stable leaders. In fact, humans are the only species that follows unstable leaders. So I found that very
Oh, that's really
interesting.
crazy.
It kind
Humans
of
are the
went,
only species that follow unstable leaders, because other species only follow the alpha or stable leaders. That's very crazy to think. Wow.
right?
Dang.
So let
That's
that
really
stew for a
profound.
little bit. Yeah, very profound. Second, what were we just talking about? Compassion, right?
Nurture
I
versus
often
nature.
nurture versus nature. A lot of times I find that, well, here's my question. Do you need to be, this is called Heal Los Angeles, right?
Hmm.
Do you need to be healed to heal?
I think in my experience, and I've been fortunate enough actually to deal with a lot of people, meet a lot of people from different backgrounds. Personally, I see that the people who often need healing usually try to do the most healing. But
Yeah.
I think it is a valiant and it's a great effort. But just how, like, when you're on an airplane, they say, put your mask on before you try to help others. I think
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't properly developed a way to, I don't think you have to be completely healed to heal people, but I think you have to know how to control your healing, you know. And this is just speaking from personal experience. I can't say that I've been truly healed, you know. I feel like I have put in place certain foundations and templates that help me deal with issues as they arise. And because of that, I feel like it helps with a clearer head, because one of my biggest concerns, specifically as it comes to Heal Los Angeles, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
want to negatively impart any of my biases on our programs. And the way in which I feel that it's important for us to counteract that is just, for example, there is this savior complex, right? People go in, they say, oh, I'm going to go save this community. I know what's good for you, blah, 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 put that in there. But there's a lot of historical and familial connections that people from the outside don't always see. So for us as a nonprofit and us as an organization, we really want to go in with open ears, which we think is the most important, because we need to
Mm-hmm.
listen to what they need and not what we believe they need.
Right. So off the pedestal, common ground, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So Heal Los Angeles. I know I felt like I needed to explain to people why Los Angeles, and I feel like it's because, you know, you are there, so you started it there. But in a
Hmm.
way, it's like a baby heal the world right?
Oh, 100%. I think
And we're
long
gonna
term,
branch out,
yes,
but
exactly.
not
Long
be
term, the
bought
goal is
like
to
a
be heal the
corporate.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we don't want to be bought and become I don't know what it's called, institutionalized, right?
exactly. And that there is a lot of nonprofits out there, I think, that do a lot of great work on a corporate, national, international level. But
Mm-hmm.
personally, the way I see things working, even the way in which I just spoke about, that we need to listen to the communities. We
Mm-hmm.
can't have somebody who lives in Los Angeles telling Oklahoma what's good for it, because
Right.
I personally don't know anything about Oklahoma. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it needs to be
Right.
somebody in Oklahoma making decisions for Oklahoma, listening. And I think sometime in the future, we'll have this awesome decentralized version of,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see it the Heal Foundation, which then,
Mm-hmm.
runs a bunch of other smaller foundations, Heal Los Angeles, Heal New York, Heal Ohio, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. 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 I like that. I'm in New York. You're in LA. I was like 9 a.m. That's so early. But John's like he's a morning person. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, yeah. You
good
got
for
me. I
you.
mean, yeah, anytime, you know what I mean? I'll be ready to go. I just need an hour to get into the zone.
It's good for you. I heard the sun is you're
Oh, it's
supposed to rise
amazing.
with the sun and
And
set
sleep
with the
with it.
sun. And lack of that, like I forget the word. Starts with a C, something rhythm. Carcadium? No, I don't. I'll turn on the comments later if people know. But you've frozen again.
Lost you. What'd you say?
Um, the other question I had was, did your dad ever give you any books for you to read that really
Oh, yeah.
impacted you?
Yeah, I
Could you
mean,
share one of them with us?
so when I was young, I was reading all kinds of books. My dad had me reading everything, and
Mm-hmm.
this just sounds pretty basic, but I read the dictionary, or not the dictionary, the encyclopedia multiple
That's not
times.
basic.
No, well, it
That's like
is just because like
all
it's
the information.
everything.
Wait,
Yeah.
from A to Z?
Yes. And it wasn't like
Wow.
when I used to read those ones that were like, let's say A to B, and then B to C, and then C to D. But
Mm-hmm.
the one I really liked, I don't remember what like print it was, but it was a really thick encyclopedia, and it had A to Z in it. And a lot of people
Uh-huh.
wonder why I have like a mass knowledge of random stuff that I never use, and I just randomly comes up in conversation. It's because
Huh.
I read the encyclopedia. So I can usually hop in a conversation with anybody with a very basic knowledge. Like, I might sound like an
Wow.
idiot sometimes, but it's been the most impactful for me just because it's given me that ability.
That's amazing. And how old were you when that was happening?
I feel like between 7 and 10, because like I was
Okay.
consistently reading it, flipping through it, reading different iterations of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I
Because
had to
I've
say
seen a
in total,
video.
go ahead.
Yeah. I've seen a video of you playing chess with your dad and you say the ABCs, but you were
Mm-hmm.
really little.
Yeah.
And you kind of skip through the middle letters, you know?
Yep.
You're like A and Z, and then he's like, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how to play chess either. I'd love to
I
learn,
mean,
but I do not
it
know.
doesn't matter, right? He made you feel like you could,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And that's our goal. That's so funny that you read the encyclopedia as an elementary kid. I think that would
Yeah,
also be really good for immigrants,
definitely.
for
I could
immigrant
definitely see it.
children.
Like you can learn new words and stuff like this. But I think just for anybody in general, like it
Mm-hmm.
gives you almost a basic understanding of how the world works. You learn about pneumatics and hydraulics, air and water, and how you
Mm-hmm.
can use those to press in a very basic setting, and that might open your
Mm-hmm.
eyes to, hey, maybe I want to be an engineer, or
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Mm-hmm.
be a civil architect. And that's kind of what we're hoping. So we actually are coming up on our last week with our cooking program, and we've already
Uh-huh.
heard like 2 kids want to pursue a career now in the culinary arts because of the cooking program.
Wow.
So
That's
it's pretty
crazy.
cool.
How
It's
old are
pretty cool.
they?
They're from kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade. So
Okay.
I believe the ages range from 6 to, dang, I don't know, remember, I think maybe 6 to 10, 6 to 11.
And the 11-year-olds or the 6-year-olds want to be professional chefs?
We don't have the surveys officially in front of us yet, but the way I
Mm-hmm.
heard it was from Principal Arce, I want to say it right, Arciniega, and she said that one of her kids. So I didn't know what age range they were in. She was just telling me that one of their kids wants to continue to explore that culinary arts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very
Feels good,
exciting. It's
right?
very exciting. It definitely
It
does.
feels
It definitely
good.
does. Because it's been so long for us. We've really been trying to figure out how to make this cooking class come to life. And
Mm-hmm.
the feedback actually that we've gotten has been better than we could have hoped for
From the teachers and the kids?
from everybody. We've been hearing that people in the community want to, like people who don't even go to the school, they want to be a part of this program.
That's amazing. I saw you giving out, was it turkeys or food on Thanksgiving last year?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
That was super cool.
Yeah, we actually try to host something like that every year. So if you're in LA during that time and you want to hand out some stuff, you can
For
join us.
sure. I'm gonna get my second vax and there to help the kids.
Definitely.
That was really moving to me because I think when you do it yourself, part of your energy goes to that meal and it
Hmm.
goes to the family. So if you want
Definitely.
to talk about woo woo, we can
Definitely.
talk about woo woo all day. Um, is there anything that you learned from your dad not to do that has impacted your life?
As in, like, he did something and I learned not to do it, or he directly told me don't do it.
I meant the second, but now I want to know both.
Oh, I have to think about both, to be honest. Let me think. Uh, from him in a direct way where he said, don't do this. It's don't be fake. I don't really
Uh-huh.
put on a fake persona. I don't change who I am to fit into crowds. And
Mm-hmm.
I think when most people hear that, they actually hear it along the lines of don't do it to fit into a clique at school, the popular
Mm-hmm.
kids. For me, and the way
Mm-hmm.
I interpret it is more as an organization or a crowd of people. You
Mm-hmm.
should know who you are. And a lot of people, even to this day, I'm still learning and growing. So I can't say I know who I am, but I have a
Mm-hmm.
core set of values. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to change that because you want to try and fit in somebody else's life. Your life is very important. So yeah, it's really just be true, be honest. I like the idea of don't judge a book by its cover because I'm a biker and I do all this stuff, but as soon as you judge
Mm-hmm.
me by that, you don't know who I am, and I come out, I got a charity.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's very surprising.
It's
And then
cool.
if I'm trying to think, well, I learned how to drive. Okay, I saw my dad drive, and it was awful.
What?
He's the
He drove?
worst driver. Well, not much. It ended up like it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And
I've
so
only seen him be driven.
yes, yes, and there's a reason for that. Is because he actually can't drive very well. So just I feel like watching him drive, I kind of like, oh, I don't think I should do that. Okay, definitely don't do that. So yeah, I mean that's if I think about it maybe a little bit more, I can maybe come up with a better answer. But I really feel like the driving was something I took a lesson from. It stuck with
Wow.
me. Yeah,
That's so funny. And
it's
so
it's
instead
it's
you're
not good driving.
biking, which you don't even know if he's gonna be like, well, that's safe or that's not safe
Yeah,
for him.
yeah. Well, I mean, I learned how to drive early, and I really tried to get a hang on it. He actually taught me how to drive when I was like 5 or 6, and I also
What?
learned a lesson that way because we were driving at Neverland, right? And he was
Yeah.
doing gas, I was steering, and we were in an SUV. And I decided I want to go get candy, so I hit this left hard, like at 60 miles an hour, and I felt the wheels pick up, and the car
Oh my
slammed back
God.
down, and that's how I learned you got to hit the brake before you turn.
Oh my God. Does he ever come to you in your dreams and say that was a bad idea or that was a good idea?
No, I mean I wouldn't say in my dreams, but I feel like when I'm riding a lot, I've almost been clipped a few times. I've got my guardian angel is definitely looking out
Mm-hmm.
there that I should either take it
Ooh,
easy
it's
or
loading
whatever.
again. Mm-hmm.
Uh, I see signs out there that I should definitely, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let off the gas or be a little bit more conservative while I'm riding.
Nice. Well, you never know who the guardian angel is, right?
Yeah, yeah. I always thank my dad when I come back. I believe that it's him looking out for me. So, you know.
I think so too. I think the spirit always lingers.
100%. I mean, whatever. I try to think. I don't want to say in generalizations, but I like to be all inclusive, and I try to factor in a lot of people's beliefs because somebody's got it right. You know what I mean? And there is him. Like I carry his spirit with me. I try to carry
Mm-hmm.
his memory. I try to carry that energy, whatever it is that you want to say. And I feel that because I carry that with me on the bike, when I feel the most, like let's say zen, I feel like it's amplified there. And that's when I feel that, I got my guardian angel looking out for me.
So you're saying when you're on the bike, you're in a meditative state.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Interesting. So you're
You don't
actually
really have
cruising.
time. Yeah, you don't have time to worry about your life. And when you do have time to worry about like the mundanity of whatever issues you have going on, for example, like when you do, it'd be up in the mountains, nice little single road, not too many potential threats coming into your
Mm-hmm.
line. So it allows your mind, I feel like, to wander. And I like to use that as an exercise I try to wander unbiasedly. So if I start thinking
Mm-hmm.
about my troubles,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get upset because if I get upset, I lose my focus on the road and I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's given me that ability to sit with my problems, recognize that it's a problem, and try to work a path to overcoming that problem without becoming too emotionally reactive. Because obviously on the bike, that
Right.
would have negative consequences.
Right. Right. And I also think the way you were raised, like you're such like a Zen person, you know? I would say happy-go-lucky. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like when you, right, happy-go-lucky. And maybe you've been that way ever since you were a little kid, but I also feel like back to nature versus nurture, you were always raised that way, like with so much love around you to hold you up that you never felt alone,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think about stuff like this consistently because I look at my cousin TJ and Francis, they helped raise me
Hmm.
after my dad died, and they have their own kids. They have their own channel called The Family Rules, which I think is really cool
Hmm.
because it really gives you an insight on what it's like to be a parent. And
Hmm.
there are decisions that our parents make that I feel like because I don't know if you have children, I don't assume that you do,
I
but
don't.
yeah,
I have
because we don't.
flowers and hopefully a pit bull soon.
Definitely, definitely. But because we don't actually have children, there's that parental bond that is very
Hmm.
difficult for us to comprehend. And I think about it a lot because TJ and Francis specifically, and also it relates even back to my dad, they made
Hmm.
decisions and sacrifices because they felt that it was better for their child, either myself or their
Hmm.
children, in the
Hmm.
long run. And to start even thinking about stuff like that, to think about how you're going to put out unconditional love and how that can affect your children, the environment that they're raised in, and how you can assist them to be the best that they can possibly be, is it's something I personally think about within my life if I ever have children at some point in the future, but also because
Yeah.
I feel that the children of LA, I'm not going to say that they're my children, but I feel like I owe them something.
They're all our children, right?
Exactly. And we have a responsibility towards them. So it's trying to develop a sense of community, a sense of love for these less fortunate kids.
I love that. I don't know you personally, but I feel like you sound just like your dad.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope
Thank you.
at some point in the near future, we start to visualize these dreams and they start to come together.
I do too. I think we should say thank you to our donations.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um,
We've raised
can
$200.
you
That's
see
amazing.
them? I know. Can you
I
see it?
can't. I think only you
Okay, I'm
can.
gonna read it out. Laid back in his tenderness, 58. I'm waving. Sue Hotchkiss. Geneva Thomas, who Prince is my dear friend. Can you shout her out?
What's up,
Geneva.
Geneva? Thank you for your donation. Thanks for tuning in with us
She
today.
is an amazing woman. She loves your father, possibly more than I do, which I would never say in any other circumstance, but I think she's like an MJ historian.
Well,
As am
thank you
I,
so
but
much
I
for the
feel that
support.
we're big supporters. Chelsea Price, she's lovely. Cam's MJ Dance Official, Sarah Dietrichson, Campanita Bell, she's so sweet. Nicola Pacioli, Laura Gwenster. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Ludovic Savic, Yasin Ia Medina, 34, and Pam San, 13. That's so great. It's all I could have wanted for my birthday. Do you want to answer some questions and see if we have anything that you haven't talked about?
Sure.
Who's your favorite Marvel superhero, Prince? I feel like Film Family would have answered this.
Yeah, I know, but and I really want to bring Film Family back. My brother's just focused on his personal life right now, so that's why it's
Is
on
he
hold.
creating? Is he gonna be a director? Because he seems so creative.
That's what
BG.
he
We're
wants
talking
to
about
do,
BG.
and that's what he's going to go to school for. So he's definitely very focused on that. Every time I see him or talk to him, he's talking about writing something. But for me, I really like Blade, and it's because I really like Wesley Snipes. He's not a well-known character, but I feel like Wesley Snipes, he was just so cool, and I used to watch, my dad showed me that movie at Neverland for the first time. That was like, that's not Spider-Man. That's like a badass superhero,
He's in the bad video. It's Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, he is. And then so I actually ran into Wesley, and I don't fan about anybody, but because it's Blade, I had to go up and run up and take a photo with him. But so that was really cool to just randomly run into him like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wait, did you say you randomly run into Wesley?
Yeah, on the street. I used to live in the Marina Del Rey, and he was walking down there, and I was like, yo, that's Wesley Snipes. I got to go get a picture with that guy. So I ran down to go get a picture with him. It was really crazy, yeah.
That is crazy. I love that. I looked at the questions. They're mostly saying hi and asking you if you miss your dad, which I'm going to guess absolutely
of course.
Every day. What's the last thing that I wanted to say? Oh, charity is charity. Remember you talked about that?
Sorry?
Charity as charity.
Charity is charity?
You said charity. You didn't believe in charity as charity.
Oh, yeah. The way I see it and the way I try to encourage people is it's social investment. And I mean, some people they're geared differently. Like I said, like we were talking about earlier, I think some people may lose their empathy along the way, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that unfortunately the world has kind of hardened you, and you've had to focus on yourself and the people that you care about, and there isn't as much room for you to care about others. And in that regard, that's why I like this idea of social investment, because when you care about others, it's going to ultimately be an investment in yourself. So it is a form of selfish way to kind of reframe the way we look at charity. But just in Los Angeles specifically, we have a big homeless problem, and it's only gotten worse since the pandemic. And it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, there's these homeless people who they are often mentally ill, or they have some type of mental health issue that they don't have any support for. And that causes them to lose their house, lose their job, whatever it is. And now they're stuck on the streets with nowhere to go. And on the other hand of that, on the other side of that coin, there's homeowners, especially in Los Angeles or Hollywood or wherever, that pay a lot of money to be in this nice neighborhood, but unfortunately it's taken over by homelessness. So the reason why I like this social investment idea is because you go talk to those people who do pay a lot of money in property taxes or rent, whatever it is, and you show them the importance of investing in the care for homeless. If we provide mental health support or places that homeless people can go, those homeless people will eventually, A, no longer be on your property, and then B, hopefully long-term, they get back on their feet and they're able to be self-supportive. But it's not charity. It's an investment in yourself. You donate your time, you donate your money into whatever it is that helps the homeless people. Long-term, your property is back to what it was. So in a weird type of selfish, but not selfish way, it's trying to reframe that thinking around it.
That reminds me of that phrase, plant trees under whose shade you do not plan to sit.
Definitely. And that's I feel like that's very altruistic. That's very future generation thinking, which some people, unfortunately, it's a little bit harder to get them to see that type of way, because you're talking about putting in an investment to something that they would never actually realize the benefits from.
Right.
Their kids may, or their grandkids may, but unfortunately, I think some people don't think that far out. And that's why it's with social investment and like going back to it, it's very similar when I say it out loud like that, but I think we need to figure a way how to make short-term benefits for these social investors. One thing I saw, I think I may have talked about it, the UN actually developed this fund. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
it. I read one page on it, but they developed this fund where investors can invest in private security for rhinos and elephants. And what that does is it obviously protects them from poachers and they're endangered. But
Uh-huh.
the investors would actually make their money back based off of certain milestones being hit, either if the elephant's repopulation got back to a certain level or something like this. And that's awesome, because that's literally saving an animal from being off the endangered list.
Yeah.
And you're getting wealthy people to put their money in. It's not a great return on investment, but it is a return on investment. And for people who are financially driven, it allows them to open up a little bit more compassionately while still making sure they're secure in their financial investments or whatever it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I have a lot of confidence that now with the younger generations kind of coming into their own, becoming adults, and they have this drive. I feel like our generation is very vocal, very, very based in activism. You know, my sister is very vocal on her social media, and so much change I feel has come about within the past just year because of people raising their voices. And if this was 20, 30 years ago, we would never have had the opportunity to do this. And I feel that if we stay on this trajectory that the people are staying on, I think ultimately we will climb to some level of equality.
Yeah. They say Gen Z is the generation that will be too shy to ask for the right order if their drink comes and it's wrong, but they'll, go protest in the streets and
Exactly.
just scream as loud as they can. So there's a lot of hope there.
It is. And I think it's our job as, I mean, I don't even know what generation I'm part of, to be honest, but I feel that it's my job as an person who's older than the younger generations
Yeah.
to provide an environment in which they can thrive, they can voice their concerns, and they can express their belief that something is unjust.
Yeah. I don't know what generation you are either, but
Yeah. I feel like it changes, to be honest. I feel like I was a millennial, and sometimes I'm a Gen Z, but I'm just doing it.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter. We love putting people into categories, boxes, and it even goes down to like astrology or like, I love astrology, but I realize it's very ultimately self-serving because we just want to hear more about ourselves, like what makes us different, what makes us special.
Yeah.
And our job right now is to make everyone feel loved and special. And I may sound so overwhelming, but I think one person at a time.
Definitely,
right?
definitely. And
Like,
we all got to
do?
get there hand in hand, I think there's a quote, I
Yeah.
can't remember who said it, but we're not whole until all of us are whole, or something like this. So
Or like no one is safe until everyone
we're
is
all
safe.
safe. Exactly.
Right. Thank you so much, Prince.
Thank you. This has been a fantastic time.
This is an amazing. This is my first real live with someone.
Really? They're fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes they kind of
Yeah.
turn into FaceTimes if you're too personal with the person. And like you'll almost say something that you didn't mean to. Because I do that with my brother Monkey all the time. And he's like, yo, you remember when we did? We can't talk about that.
Wait, your brother, is that Omar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him at orientation.
Yeah, he's really awesome.
He's awesome. He's so smart.
He is. And
Yeah.
I wish I could have been there, a part of the orientation, but we're always looking for collaboration between all of our ambassadors. He's very into, he's obviously vegan, but he's very into health and he's driven by that. And, maybe there's some overlap there. There's some overlap in anything that we can help you out with or vice versa. You just let us know.
Yeah, thank you so much. I told John, I was like, I think enough people have written off of your father's name that I don't want anything, but I definitely want to help.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to make some great things happen in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Okay. I think we are live. Can we
All
say
right,
goodbye
it was
to the
good.
dog together?
Definitely. Oh, gee. Come here. Here he comes.
I'm so hi, OG.
George.
Oh my gosh. I love him.
He's such a good
Thank
dog.
you.
Such a good dog. Thank you, Wan Yu. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm looking forward
I
to
know.
or not in person, but hopefully we'll get to meet in person at some point in the future.
Yeah, Halloween. I'll see ya.
Definitely. Thank you so much and enjoy your birthday.
Thank
I hope you
you.
have a great night.
Thank you. Thanks, Prince.
Bye-bye.
Bye.